Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give call Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shah, for giving me the spirit and power to do this lesson. Started off with Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Akkad. All right, so real quick, I just want to touch on, I was thinking about something and I decided to do a little video over it, right? So look, let's get straight into it, and Lord willing, you catch my drift. You see where I'm going with it, right? Salakia. So this is Job chapter 35. And you already see the title of the lesson. So Lord willing, you be edified. So this is Job chapter 35 and 9. It says, by reason of the multitude of oppressions, they make the oppressed to cry. They cry out by reason of the arm of the mighty. So when we're dealing with the arm of the mighty, it's talking about the person that's in rulership, the one that has all the strength of might, right? In the society, in whatever society, right? And the Israelites, we always been on the bottom. So what we always done is we ran to our oppressors rather than running to the Most High God. So now us coming back to the Most High God in these last days, we are considered runaway slaves to Esau, man. Right? They don't literally have shackles on us, in the cotton fields, but our minds. They want our minds. And Lord willing, I can do another video over the word government, because when you go into the word government, it means to control the minds, right? That's what government means, and I'm gonna go over it pretty soon. But that's what Esau wants. He wants our minds. So when our minds leave his society, his world, we stop wandering after the beast, then we will be considered runaway slaves, man. We are considered runaway slaves here in this captivity, right? And Esau is going, what do Esau will always do when the slaves run away? He go and catch them. He go and try to catch them at least, right? And most of the time, he's successful at catching his slaves, right? But, but there are, a few situations where slaves, they made it to freedom, so to speak, right? But it says, verse 10, but none saith, where is God, my maker, who giveth songs in the night, who teaches us more than the beasts of the earth, and maketh us wiser than the fowls of the heaven. So it's speaking about him giving us wisdom more than he gave the fowls and the beasts of the field. Then it goes in to say, there they cry, but none giveth answer, because of the pride of evil men. So the 2/3 of our people, they're not going to run away from this society, right? They like being here. That's what, because pride is exalted here, and people, right? It's like it would seem like it's natural being prideful, right? It's a good feeling being prideful. It's a good feeling thinking you better than other people. It's a good feeling, hey, being able to do whatever you want and talk shit about it, right? Like gay pride, right? These things are being exalted here, right? And that's why they like being here. But it says, because of the pride of evil men, surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it, right? So in the time of Jacob's trouble, this is where 2/3 are really going to see that Esau still has that slave master mentality, but the Most High is not going to regard their crying. Why? Because they waited until the last second to try to come back to the Most High, right? Could you imagine? And we see this in movies all the time. A woman, she'll leave a man, at his poor state, but as soon as he get rich, she try to come back, right? And the man like, hell nah, it's over with. Right? You left me when I was down at in my worst position, right? The worst situation in my life, you left me, right? It ain't got to be movies. This is reality, right? She tried to come back at the last second. This is how the 2/3 of Israel is going to be, right? But the Lord says this in Proverbs 1. Salakia. Proverbs chapter 1 and 24. It says, because I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. Right? The Most High is stretching out his hand right now, trying to tell you to come out of the ways of this place, man. Right? He's trying to let you know he's about to pry you from the hands of this so-called white man and his system. But 2/3 of our people don't want to go. Why? Because of the pride of evil men. Right? You got brothers and sisters walking around here talking about they is God, or they are the queen. Right? The black woman is God, right? That's the pride of evil men. So they have to die here on this side in this captivity, right? So it says, but ye have said it not all my counsel. What is his counsel? These scriptures. It says, and none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamities. I will mock when your fear cometh. So when it is time for 2/3 to get their ass whooping, right? Hey, the Lord is going to literally allow Esau to catch these, runaway slaves, because there's going to be a point in time where, like I said, they see Esau for who he is, and then they're going to try to run away, but it's going to be too late. The Most High is going to allow Esau to catch them, right? And that's just what it is. A lot of them going to be put to death. A lot of them going to be brought back, and they're going to be shackled back up. And when I say shackled back up, I mean they're going to have to take that charagma, man. Right? They're going to be put in these concentration camps. It's going to be a lot of stuff that Esau is going to do, man. It's a lot of stuff Esau did not show us that he got, right? The element of surprise is the best element, right? Straight up. So my next precept, I wanted to get this because we go to Esau for everything. It's in the curses. Everything we go to Esau, man. I'm talking about everything. Marriage license, fishing license, right? When you want to get insurance for your car, you want to get a tag, right? You want to lease a home, right? Even when you want to own a home, you have to go to Esau and pay for it, man. Right? If I want to, hey, whatever I need to get, for life, I have to go to Esau and get it. Let me get that in Sirach right quick. Sirach chapter 39 and 26. It says the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water. We have to go to Esau for water. Fire. We have to go to Esau for fire. Lighters, whatever the case. Lights, right? Iron, right? Salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of grapes, which is wine, and oil and clothing, right? We have to go to Esau for all of these things, man. And it's a good thing that, these things are here on the earth so for we to get, but it's who we getting it from, man. Right? They putting their stamp on it. They're putting their prices on it, right? And we know Esau don't give a damn, man. He all about, rulership, man. So he enslaves us through the dollar, right? If that makes sense, right? He enslaves you through the dollar, making it seem like the dollar is the way of life, right? The dollar is the way to happiness, when it's not, man. Everybody on this earth can be rich and live peacefully. Everybody. Esau can make there should be no homeless people on this earth, right? Because there's enough earth for everyone. Think about it. When we go to Oklahoma City, we in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we go to Oklahoma City, that's 200 miles. I believe it's 200 miles of just no land. So imagine from here to Texas or here to California, all this land that's not occupied that we could, branch off and give to the people. Esau did that. Nah, he's not going to do that. Why? Because he's enslaving you through the dollar, man. And he's making you think that this is it. That's why everybody's crammed up like sardines, man. If you look around, your house is too close to the next man's house. Way too close. That's why you got people arguing, talking about that's in my yard or this is in my yard. Esau got everyone crammed up like sardines, and we're used to it, right? Only thing they tripping about is if their house is big enough, right? They're not worrying about how much land they have, right? So look, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 45. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statute which he commanded thee. Right? We already know that. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Right? And this is a key point right here. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness. Right? When these high holy days come around, we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to love keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Somebody offer you something unlawful, you're supposed to love to turn that down. Like, hell no, that ain't a part of our culture. My God said I can't eat that for my good. Right? Because that's what he told us in the law. He told us in Deuteronomy, he gave us these laws for our good. Right? We're not supposed to look at the laws as grievous. That's what it says in 1 John 5 and 3. It says, let me just get it. Right? 1 John chapter 5 and 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So the word grievous goes into hard. They're not hard to keep, man. We make it hard on ourselves being absorbed in our own lust and flesh, man. So when people say the commandments is hard to keep, nobody can keep them. But then here it is. They're not There's over 20,000 laws in America. It might be 2,000 or 20,000, regardless. It's in the thousands. And you got people walking around here that's not felons. You got people walking around here that never been to jail in their life. But then they'll tell you 613 commandments is hard to keep. No one can keep them. Man, don't fall for that, man. So it says, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things, right? For our good. And then this is the point right here. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 68. He said he was going to deliver us into the hand of our enemies. And he said that no man is going to redeem us. No man is going to buy us out of this captivity, right? That's why you have runaway slaves, because nobody's going to buy us, right? It says, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So we're past the part of the yoke of iron upon our flesh. Now it's the yoke of iron that's in the mind, right? Esau wants our mind. Like I said, if you go into the word government, it means to control or rule. Govern means to control or rule. Mint means mind. Mint goes back to a Latin word which means mensis, which means mind. To control your mind. That's what the government does. And that's all they do in these labs and with these scientists, man. Right? Esau has like when we look up things, like when we see things in the movies like Mad Scientists, like those are real, right? Google Operation Paperclip, right? Where America went over there to Germany and stole, captured, enslaved, however you want to put, 1,600 German scientists and brought them over here to the Americas to help develop their society, to help develop technology, right? Operation Paperclip. Look it up, right? But I'm going to read it again. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. Nakedness is clothing. It says, and in want of all things. So like I was going over, marriage license, car, house, right? Phone, when you got to pay your phone bill, everything you have to go to Esau to get, man, right? And it says he's going to put a yoke of iron upon us, and he did that, right? That's why you have something called Stockholm Syndrome, right? He don't need the shackles on us no more. We don't want to leave. But there's a remnant according to the election. This is the point of the lesson. There's a remnant according to the election that the Lord has broke those shackles off. He broke that yoke of iron off, and he allowed us to see Esau for what it is in his society, and he gave us the opportunity to come back to him, right? A lot of people, you know, they'll go and put them shackles back on them, that yoke of iron back on them by leaving this truth. It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thee until he have destroyed thee. And we are a destroyed people. That's why we don't need that yoke of iron on our flesh anymore, right? It's on our mind, right? And even the ones that's in the truth, we're still trying to, you know, pry that, you know, that yoke of iron all the way off of our body, man, right? Because he'll have it on your arms, he'll have it on your legs, he'll have it around your neck. Esau wants to make damn sure you cannot leave, right? And that you don't want to leave, right? But since there's an election that the Lord has chosen, that he has woken up in these last days, what does that do for the slave master? That makes the slave master mad as hell. Why? Because he's losing money. He's losing things that he had once before, right? Including his society, right? The fact that we're waking up, he's losing, his society is falling, right? We're so special and so important in this society, and he focused on us so much that if we all was to turn to God tonight, his society would crash overnight, man. And that is a very true statement. His society would crash overnight, man. And that's literal, man. Just like if the blacks, Hispanics, and natives came back together overnight, we will become a superpower overnight. And that is Esau's biggest fear, right? And that's why you see him pushing this jump shot more than anything, man. He pushing it more than anything on the earth, man. All of a sudden, you know, they uplift all these things, but now all of a sudden it's right back, right? And I always tell the brothers, I'll be posting it in the chat, and I'll be like, oh, y'all thought it was over, right? Because the world thought it was over with, man, but it's not. Esau's never going to let this go, right? Now Biden is talking about signing bills dealing with cryptocurrency. So this digital currency is coming, man. This digital currency, which goes into the charagma, the MOTB, the mark of the beast, Revelations 13 and 16. That is the prophecy, one of the biggest prophecies that we're waiting on. But not to get off topic, right? So I want to get this Revelations 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. It's talking about the runaway, the runaway slaves. The slaves, when we are considered runaway slaves. We're talking about the slaves that literally, like I said, see Esau for who he is, man. And the society for how wicked it is, right? And we want to come back to the Most High wholeheartedly, like the scriptures say we would. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, right? The 2/3 of our people. For the devil has come down to you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So why would he be pissed off when he has this society that rules the whole entire planet? Esau's society rules the world, man. Esau puts sanctions on whoever he wants to, man. Esau has an embassy wherever he wanted to be. Esau has satellites wherever he wanted to be. So why would he be mad? And why would the Lord tell us to rejoice? Because his society is falling, is crumbling by way of us waking up, right? We are pulling Esau out of rulership as we speak, just by our vibration, us speaking them their kingdom falling into the existence, man. Right? It tell you that in Jeremiah 28 and 8. It says the prophets before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and kingdoms of war and pestilence and so forth. Right? Russia is roused up and doing what he's doing because of the brothers that's out there on the highways and byways, man. That's why. That vibration brought forth reality, right? Just like when you go into the book of Genesis, the first thing the Most High said was, let there be light, and there was light. That's what it says. So when we prophesy, we're bringing this to pass by the vibration, man. Words are power. That's why Yahushua told you, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. He says, by thy word shall thou be justified, and by thy word shall thou be condemned, man. You will never get to take back certain words that you say. Let me not say certain. Any words that you utter, you will never be able to take that back. That's why sometimes it's wearing on your conscience, because you know you can't take that back, right? Like you call a woman a bitch. You call her a bitch, you can say sorry, she'll forgive you, but she is never going to forget that. Why? Because it's the vibration, man. And it's that vibration stuck with her. Even you're going to be like, damn, I wish I would have never called her that. And it's, over time, it makes you want to do more stuff for her because it show your repentance and you're sorry, right? Why? Because that vibration. Hey, and these things is real, man. But it says that he come down with great wrath, knowing that he have but a short time. So this is him coming down, chasing, coming to chase the runaway slaves, man. He's coming for us, man. It's just a matter of time, man. I think about this every night when I lay in my bed. I'll be like, is this the night that Esau's coming? Right? Because we just going to be knocked out sleep. Because, Esau, that's how he do. Esau likes, just like how runaway slaves, they like to run away in the night. Esau likes to go chase them in the night also. Right? Esau is going to come for us when we least expect it. 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Right? You didn't lay down with your spouse. You tired. You sleeping good. And you just going to hear boom at the door. Or you going to hear poop, 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 poop. U.S. Marshals. And they going to have the whole house surrounded before they even knock. That's how they get down. This is what they going to do, man. Right? This is him coming down with great wrath. Now, when we say great wrath, when we look at them now, they have great wrath. That's why you got to understand, Esau kindly does stuff that's wicked as hell. He kindly pushes stuff on you like, we're losing patience. What did Biden say? We're losing patience with you fellow Americans. Y'all need to take this jump shot, right? We're losing patience. That's a clear sign of they're mad as hell. They're trying to force us with kindness to take it, right? So when it say great wrath, you got to understand what it's talking about, like in a reality sense. Esau's not going to be on there on live TV. Yeah, motherfucker, I'm going to get all you mother. Nah, he's not going to do that. He's going to do it with kindness. Like anybody, if you see any Hebrew Israelites, we ask the people if you turn them in. But it's great wrath. Great wrath. Because when they catch us, you know what they're going to do with us? Tortures and torments. Lord, at least that's their mind. Why? For running. For being runaway slaves. What does the slave master always do? He might put them in a hole, right? For a whole month. He might not feed them. He might make them wear nail shoes, right? Straight up, man. Whatever the case is. Right? But let me get this. This is Isaiah chapter 59 and 19, right? It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west and his glory from the rising of the sun, right? So this is talking about the brothers that's out there prophesying on the highways and byways, right? They're going to fear his name because they're going to understand that they've been in wickedness for so long. And then they're going to start to fear the Lord. The world fears the Lord. That's why they hate us. They like, why are you bringing this to me, man? You know how you got some brothers, they don't like to hear negativity, right? But it be truth and it's something they need to hear. And they'll be like, man, why are you telling me this? You like, you need to hear this. What you talking about? It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. And I always touch on this. One thing about a flood is when you look at a flood, like when the dam broke in New Orleans, a flood comes in powerful and it comes in fast. So this is why it's symbolically referencing Esau, you know, as a flood, because he's going to come in fast and he's going to come in hard, man. So it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him, right? So this is going into the Lord delivering us, whether it's spiritual powers, whether it's, you know, him literally having the angelic forces to perform miracles for us, whatever the case, we don't know. This is the point of having faith, because if we knew, you know, there would be no point of having faith. We just know it's going to happen. But we have faith that the Lord is going to lift up this standard for us, man. Right? Esau thinks he owns you, man. Esau thinks he owns you. And I'm serious, man. He really thinks he owns you. That's why he's about to try to chip you. Believe it or not, he's about to try to chip you, man. And there's going to be he don't want to hear nothing, man. Right? So let me get this last precept. Because this scripture encouraged me to do this lesson. So this is Isaiah chapter 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, a remnant is a small group, a small seed, a small elect body of people of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob. See, there you have it. Runaway slaves, right? We are runaway slaves to Esau. We're the ones, Lord willing us, the elect, we're going to get away from him. He's not going to be able to catch us, right? And he's going to be mad as hell, right? It says that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, right? We're not going to be dependent on getting food, water, clothing, and one of all things from Esau anymore. We're going to stay upon it says, but shall stay upon the Holy One of Israel and in truth, right? The Lord is going to feed us, right? The Lord is going to give us water. The Lord is going to give us clothing. The Lord is going to give us everything we need, man. And it says the abundance of all things, right? It tells you that in 2nd Ezra chapter 2, right? Hey, and these are things that I believe, man. You should believe this, man. So this is 2nd Ezra 2 and 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, when Esau comes for his runaway slaves, it says, others shall weep and be sorrowful. Why? Because they're going to see Esau for who he is, but it's going to be too late. It says, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance, right? We're going to have the abundance of all things, Lord willing us. And we have to believe that. We have to have faith in that. But first, we have to seek the Most High and all his righteousness. We have to, man, in order to get this abundance in all things. Yeah, you're not going to have nothing here, right? It seems like there's no benefit of, turning to the Most High God right now, because you catch more hell when you come into this truth. But you have to understand that's the point. Do you want to suffer now, or you want to suffer later? Because later, you're gonna get so, man. The scriptures talk about how people in the kingdom are gonna have shame and everlasting content, because they're gonna know, bro, I gave up the kingdom. I gave up this for that. This is gonna be their mentality in the kingdom with their head down. Everlasting shame and content. They're gonna be like, bruh, I wanted to be in that wicked ass society. And here it is, people complaining about how brothers fake, niggas is fake, right? Bitches ain't shit, right? They talk about all this, but they want to prosper here. And this is the mentality they're going to have in the kingdom. They're going to be like, bruh, I wanted to be in that wicked ass society and prosper. But in the kingdom, it's going to be none of that fake ass niggas, fake ass bitches. It's not going to be none of that. It's going to be all righteousness. You're going to be wealthier than any nation on this earth, man. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And this is going to be the shame and everlasting content that they're going to have. But it says, thou shalt be merry and have abundance, man. That's what we should be looking forward to. Being merry and having abundance. And this is time of, man, Jacob's trouble specifically when Esau comes after his runaway slaves. Right? Straight up. So, man, hey, just like, and I'm going to say this too, just like in Egypt, man, remember Egypt. The Lord always tells us to remember what happened in Egypt. The Lord thy God delivered thee from the hand of from Egypt, from the hand of Pharaoh, roughly paraphrasing. But the Lord always tells us to remember what happened in Egypt, man. That's why we're about to celebrate Passover as a remembrance on him delivering us out of Egypt, right? So we have to remember also what happened. Pharaoh let us go, and then he came for his slaves, right? So we have to consider that Esau's going to do the same thing. Esau's going to come for his slaves, man, right? He's coming for his slaves, man, and that's something we have to consider. He's coming for us, man. But the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. So don't let this lesson get you down, because Esau ain't gonna ready to do shit, man. That nigga weak as hell. Look at his army. These niggas got transgenders and women in their army, and bro, it's just an easy fight for any nation. So don't look at it like that, man. We about to get the hell up out of here, but first we have to seek God and all his righteousness. And let me close out with that one. He closed out with that. We got to seek the Most High and all his righteousness, right? This is Matthew 6:33. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you, shall be added unto you, man. So Lord willing, man, you was edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahushua, the 12 tribes out here doing this work in truth and sincerity. Death to this wicked ass kingdom. We almost out of here. Shalom.